Welcome to the audio excerpts of special seminars and conversations with Nolan Narula on gettingpositivekarmanow.com.
So basically you're talking about stability, you're talking about spiritual development, and you're talking about no obstacles. Is the purpose of your life, what is your main purpose? Everything else should be built around that actually. And when you talk of relationships, that is actually the most important thing because everything depends on relationships. First of all, your relationship with your own body and your own karmic bank balance. That is the first thing that you need to pay attention to. What are my assets and liabilities that I have come with in this life? What is my balance sheet? This is what I have been dealt. This is what has come. Can I make this better? And if so, how? And what are the important things that I need to make better? If you're talking about, you want security for your family, that's fine. That's a proper objective to have. But it cannot be the main objective. If it is the main objective, that means you have been lax elsewhere. You've not made your family strong enough to support themselves. You need to give your family a support system. Like for example, I used to talk to many people of a younger generation and today's younger generation, and they said, the only reason that we would like to get married is that if we want to have children, because everything else is freely available today. So I said, you are wrong. So what is the wrong? I said, you don't understand that you need a support system. Parents are not going to be here forever. Your parents are not going to be here forever. So you need to develop your own society that will support you, your own health group, which is husband, wife, children, whatever, and the extended family, that is your support group. So most people don't understand it till they come to that point that yes, I do actually need the support group. Theory is very different. But as a person who has observed or gone through the life themselves, they can experience it and then they can speak from that experience. So, relationships are the key to healing your life because everything is delivered by relationships. If you have a relationship with the bacteria that invades you and creates ill health, what is the relationship you have? A bad one, obviously. But there is also good bacteria. So, if you have a good relationship with things in your body, the cells in your body, the elements that form the cell, through the healing, if you focus down to that level, then your body will function to deliver the purpose or the ability for you to, it will deliver the ability for you to realize the main purpose of your life, which is to be placed in a proper harmonious position with your internal spiritual self, which in turn is vibrating to a greater spiritual self in that harmonic. So you have to actually harmonize that relationship. Everything else is temporary. Everything else is an opportunity for you to write off your debts. is an opportunity for you to create a particular kind of a bank balance of karma, the karma quotient, the residue of your karma, that is heavily tilted in favor of the spiritual. Spiritual means non-deteriorating, non-changeable, eternal, and the more karma that you do that transforms your existing binding karma to the non-binding karma, the non-consequence binding karma. Because all that you do has a consequence that binds you to reappear in the material world. So if you have karma which is not binding you to reappear in the material world, that is how you are writing off your debts. Now, when you think only of financial debt, for example, when you talk about, I want to be free of debt, I want to have finance, this, that, and the other, that's only one part. And how do you know that being in debt is actually not part of your karmic plan? It may have been part of your karmic plan to help you to get to a particular point. Not to say that debt is good, okay, you say, okay, now it's part of my karmic plan, let me swipe my credit card in the face of it. Work towards getting rid of your debt. The first place to start is to get rid of your credit card debt. The more you get rid of credit card debt, the better you are. You're in a better place. So, you start with that, and you start with not owing things to people, either in tangible, calculable form, like you borrow something from someone, or you are using something that that person has, and using it for free, for example, so-called, and then you are called upon to pay for it later in some way. So therefore, reciprocal arrangement must be there. Somebody invites you out for dinner, you must reciprocate. It's not exactly payback, but actually if you look at it, it is. It's like you're paying back. Reciprocate is a term that encompasses different ways of paying back, not necessarily one-to-one. It can be paid back in different ways. Reciprocal arrangement. I do something for you, you do something for me, it's stated, unstated. Like you go into a restaurant, there's a reciprocal arrangement. They will look after you, give you hospitality, smile nicely, feed you nicely, and at the end they'll give you the bill. Which you can pay in cash or credit card, racking up some more debt. So, there are other ways also, like you may be invited to somebody's house for a meal or something like that, or they do something for you. Then you may give them a gift, or you may reciprocate with them in a different way. Do something for them. So it's a kind of a balancing thing. So this is always there. So Shakespeare said, neither a borrower nor lender be. For one oft loses the principal and the friend also. Maal bhi gaya, friend bhi gaya, sab kuch gaya. So one has to balance one's karma quotient. Remember that we talk of healing your karmic bank balance, we talk of karma quotient, we talk of the universal life force energy of Reiki that helps you to resolve your debts. It's a matter of relationship with the weather, with your body, with the elements inside and outside your body, and with other bodies of elements that are people, that are souls housed in those elements. So if you harmonize the elemental aspect of your existence in your own body, it spreads to the external also. It impacts on others also. So you need to first fix yourself always. You need to fix yourself, and in that fixing, others are fixed. Important to keep that in focus. The reality is that there is an inner spirit of aspiring to get the maximum wealth. if you look at wealth, in our tradition we think of Lakshmi ji. But we forget that the word Lakshmi comes from the meaning that one who helps one to reach one's goal, apne lakshya ko tak pahunchana. Lakshmi is one who helps you to get to your lakshya, your goal. And there are 6 different opulences. We have discussed this many times. But those opulences or aishwaryas that are qualities of Lakshmi are only a means for you to attain your ultimate objective, which is freedom and emancipation from karmic consequences, so that you can be situated in your pure spiritual consciousness, that you are a servant of the divine consciousness. That is the objective and goal actually, to be in that place. So if you practice in this lifetime, as you do your thing, you are reminding yourself when you say your attitude of gratitude, thy will be done, is that you are a servant of the divine consciousness. Because you are surrendering to the divine consciousness's decision. You are doing whatever you are inspired to do. You are working whichever way you are inspired to do. You are getting various stresses and strains in your life and you say, okay, I will send healing to fix this for me. And at the end of it, you are also saying, thy will be done. It's a consciousness that I will let the divine decide. But actually, I don't want to let the divine decide. I insist that the result should come the way I asked for it. So that makes the healing incomplete. That's an immaturity of the healer, or a regression from his understanding of wisdom. You talk about knowledge, you talk about wisdom. This is the only wisdom and knowledge that you need, that you are actually required to act, but internally be in surrender. Surrender doesn't mean haath khade karke let jao, haan ji hone do jo hota hai. This is God's will. God doesn't will anything for you. He is only saying, come home. And you are saying, okay, if you like, you can take me home. Country roads, take me home. Huh? I'm not going road, you take me. Huh? So it's not like that. You have to work for it. The work is required always. So you need to go there. Very commonly we hear, I did this much healing and nothing happened. I didn't get the result. And then we say, look at what kind of healing you did. You will find 9 times out of 10 you did it wrong. You didn't follow the system, you didn't follow the method, it wasn't done. Or you didn't follow what you were supposed to do to make that thing happen. You just said it will happen automatically. It's not, there's nothing automatic. Automatic happens when you are flowing properly with the healing energy. Yes. You are mostly thinking about the Lakshmi aspect of being happy in life. That if I have so much wealth, if I have so much influence, if I have so much this, that, then I will be happy. But all of you have some measure of all these things and you are not happy. So what makes you think more will help you? Because every time you come to more, the message, you're not getting to the goal. You're not getting to the lakshya. So Jeevan ka kya lakshya? What is the purpose or goal of your life? Is to use these things to develop spiritually, to write off your karmic debts, to do the healing. That's the only way you can write off the karmic debts in a huge, massive way. Because anything and everything you do, you add the healing energy, your karmic debts are getting released. You may be doing nonsense, no problem. Send healing. Why? Because it might save you. It may make that little difference between creating further debts or just to the level that, okay, you will get some punishment or compensatory action, and that will be the end of it, nothing further. Or it may just vanish the problem. So any degree. The healing will help. You are going to make mistakes, you are going to have problems, you are going to be unstable, you are going to have obstacles. But with the healing, you can deal with the obstacles in a way which you could never deal with them earlier. That is the difference. You are not helpless and you are not hopeless if you do the healing. Everything else in your life to an ordinary person will appear that this person is living like any other person. But it's not, because when you go and look at people, who don't have the healing energy but have a lot of Lakshmi, they are the most miserable bundles of misery I have come across. They are always crying. They are always fearful. They are always whining about something or the other. They are in perpetual fear. What will happen when I die, because I will lose all this? So life becomes very painful in anticipation of death, because they have not done anything to provide for their onward journey. As healers, you are providing every moment for your onward journey. That's the difference. If you are not a healer, you have no purpose in life, because then your purpose in life ends with your body, and that's not where you end. You continue beyond the body, and then that can be a rude shock. Oh, hello, no support system now. So healing is your maximum support system in this body, in the next body, and beyond. So whatever you're going through, you'll be able to tackle it with the idea that it's not going to create a future obstacle race for you. Your obstacles are going to get less. Even in this life, you see your obstacles start to dwindle, as long as you don't reopen those accounts and revisit it and, get into that whole reactivation of karmic consequences business. And even if you do, no problem, keep sending the healing. It's ultimately going to balance out. Because it will go in waves. It will go ups and downs and sideways and a little bit here, a little bit there, you'll get tossed around. But if you don't lose the healing, boat of healing, if you don't get off the boat, you're safe. So whatever happens, stay on the boat.